They always say that getting to the top is hard, but staying there is even harder. This is the same with Google search rankings, so let's talk about it. How do we rank higher on Google? Even if you're a beginner at SEO, chances are you're already familiar with how vital high rankings can be to websites' organic visibility. What you might not know, however, is how to reach those heights. After all, nothing gives a content writer, SEO manager, or website owner more satisfaction than seeing their content pieces ranked high in the search engine results pages, what most refer to as SERPs, especially in the first position or 2 or 3. It isn't always a piece of cake. With hundreds of thousands of pages competing for the same target keyword, there are many things to take into account when writing a blog post. This makes the process of getting ranked high on Google search a multi-dimensional one. After all, Google's algorithm is complex, and many SEO strategies and techniques should be used in order to increase the chances of getting higher rankings. But let's rewind a little bit. What makes Google's rankings algorithm so complex? Even though there are over 200 ranking factors that Google takes into account, we've narrowed down the top six most important factors to take into consideration. Factor 1. Backlinks. Backlinks are one of the most prominent factors that search engines pay attention to, and it's no secret that they play a major role in helping content perform well on Google search results. In fact, according to a study by Backlink, top ranking pages have more backlinks than lower ranking ones. You'll also see in the study that results in the top position on the SERPs have on average almost 4 times as many more backlinks than the rest of the first page results. Pretty interesting, right? The significance of backlinks is something content marketers realized back in the early days of SEO and digital marketing, meaning that various link building strategies have been established over the years to acquire those links. Does that mean that more backlinks is better? Certainly not, since what matters most is the quality of the backlinks. In fact, relevant links from websites with a low domain authority can actually do more harm than good. One great way to increase the number of websites linking back to you is to develop an SEO outreach process. This involves reaching out to relevant websites with high authority whose backlinks will be valuable in the eyes of Google. By doing so, you really increase your chances of gaining better search rankings and thus driving more traffic to your website. Good backlinks are basically a way of proving to Google that you're a relevant, high-quality source that can be trusted.
How far can he be trusted?
Now, let's have a look at an example of a page that performs great organically, partially due to its backlinks. We believe a good example would be our very own piece on reminder email templates, so let's go ahead and take a look. First, let's have a general look at Respondent's overall backlink profile with the help of Ahrefs. As you can see, our site has so far received over 70,000 backlinks, with the number of referring domains being just under 3,000. These metrics contribute to a higher domain rating, which indicates that we're a trustworthy website for both users and also for search engines. Referring domains are basically the unique domains that link back to a website, while backlinks refer to the total number of links pointing to our site. Using Ahrefs, we can also see that the newly gained backlinks outnumber the lost ones. This is one of the many signs of a good backlink profile. Now let's take a closer look at the blog post itself. Starting with the overview of the page, we can clearly see that we've been consistently earning links to that page since we published it back in early 2021, and currently stand at just under 500 from about 200 referring domains. When we take a closer look at the organic traffic search metrics, we can confirm that it is indeed performing well and attracting valuable traffic. By having a deeper look at the organic keywords it ranks for, we can see that it ranks 3rd on the first page of Google for the term reminder email. It also ranks high for dozens of other competitive keywords based on their search volumes, such as friendly reminder and reminder email template. This doesn't mean that the page is performing well solely due to its backlinks, but they do play an important role in its search rankings. Other factors that are important are the use of right keywords, on-page SEO tactics, headers. I could go on and on, but there are many more factors that attract valuable search traffic. What's more, search intent is another aspect that was, well, and should be, considered before creating the content piece, since it can greatly affect its organic performance. That brings us to our second important ranking factor, search intent. To put it simply, search intent is the reason searchers are looking for something online. Are they looking to buy something? Or maybe simply to learn something from a guide like this video? Whatever the reason or intent, each search query has a why behind it, and it's the content's job to satisfy it. There are typically 4 types of search intent: informational, commercial, transactional, or navigational. Each of those can answer a different type of query a user might have. Informational intent satisfies queries that indicate the need for information. Commercial intent indicates that searchers aren't interested in buying something. Transactional intent shows that they're ready to spend the money. And while navigation intent indicates that the person needs to find business-specific information, like a phone number or email address. What makes them distinguishable from each other is the search intent modifiers, that is, words and phrases in the content's title that indicate what type of search intent they can satisfy. For instance, the modifier versus, when comparing two products, clearly shows commercial intent, whereas the modifier how to signals informational intent, since the searcher is looking to get more information on how to do something, kind of like this video on how to rank higher on Google. After all, when creating any piece of content, it makes sense to try and satisfy that intent because it's what users have in mind. How do we know that? Simply by taking a look at the SERPs, one can get an idea of what users are searching for as well as how they're searching for it. As you can see, at the top of the search results, use the same modifier. If we were to create a blog post around different intent for the same keyword, chances are we probably wouldn't be able to compete with the top search results. That's exactly why identifying the right search intent after conducting keywords research can be vital to ranking higher on Google. Let's have a look at another example, this time by a tool very near and dear to our hearts, Visme. Visme has a great case of a content piece that successfully managed to satisfy the intent around a certain keyword, the one on social media image sizes. First of all, simply by looking at the page title, a searcher can immediately understand what the content is all about. What's more, the modifier guide covers informational search intent just like the other top search results do, despite using different modifiers. Identifying the right intent and following it increases the chances of a website ranking high, because no matter how well written a content piece is, Google won't promote it if it doesn't answer what the searchers want. By looking at the table of contents inside the piece, you'll see that there are guidelines for almost all social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even Spotify. This helps users easily navigate to details about the platform of their choice and get information about it. It's also an example of good user experience, which is also considered a ranking factor. All of these things working together have helped this blog post generate over 11,000 organic visits per month. That's a pretty solid flex. But check this out. Okay, all jokes aside, this is a great example of a web page that satisfies users by answering their queries, and therefore Google has rewarded by helping it gain organic visibility through high rankings. Now that we've seen how important search intent is to a successful content marketing strategy, it's time to move on to the next ranking factor, topical authority. Would you read a blog post by Jeff Bezos on latest fashion trends? Me? Absolutely.
Love what you do with Amazon.
Most of you, probably not. But even if you did, you wouldn't trust it as much as a piece written by, like, let's say Giorgio Armani. This is because you associate those two people with different sectors of topics, tech and fashion. Google works in a similar way. If a website already has visibility for a given topic, it'll be easier to rank for and faster, and possibly higher for a relevant term. This is where topical authority comes into play. It's one of the most important tactics in blogging and something every SEO starter should know about. To put it simply, topical authority is the expertise someone has in a niche or in a topic, which makes them trustworthy in the eyes of Google and also other searchers. This concept was highlighted after Google Hummingbird, a 2013 algorithm update that helped search engine evaluate natural language, analyze relevant terms, and make connections between entities. This made topical authority an important ranking factor in organic search, especially when gaining extra real estate in SERPs through snippets. Let's have a look at a great example by Uscreen. Uscreen's piece on membership platforms is a good case of how topical authority helps a web page rank higher. The company already has expertise in sectors like video monetization, streaming, memberships, and so on, and that's something Google is aware of. We can see from the keywords Uscreen ranks for in high positions with terms like streaming sites, subscription websites, and top membership sites. This gives Uscreen the right topical authority to be able to not only create, but also gain visibility for content around membership platforms and other related terms.
No, he just has an air of authority about him.
It's no surprise that the blog post already has visibility. Here's a quick tip. You can find great keywords around your niche by using a free tool like Google Keyword Planner or a paid one like SEMrush or Ahrefs. Creating original content that's high quality and relevant to your business is vital to helping Google trust you more as a source and rank you higher for the SERPs. Let's move on to our fourth factor, content depth. Among other on-page SEO techniques, having the right content depth can play a role as a ranking factor. While other aspects may be more important, such as targeting the right keywords, writing high-quality content, classifying search intent, and more, Content depth really shouldn't be underestimated. After Google's 2010 May Day update, pages with thin content saw a significant hit to their organic traffic, while in-depth blog posts with long-tail keywords saw higher conversions and also higher click-through rates. Thin content is basically short content with not a lot of value for readers and a poor user experience. In contrast, deep content is designed to meet a reader's needs with expert knowledge on one or more fields, provide arguments backed up by data, and generally offer in-depth information. More often than not, such content may turn out to be lengthier than its competing ones in the SERPs, but this could have a positive impact on rankings. When creating lengthy content, make sure to enrich it with images, videos, infographics, and other types of multimedia for a better user experience. A good example is the following piece by content and SEO agency Minutia. The case we're going to examine is the one on blog post templates. You'll notice that when we go through the piece, the level of detail for each blog post template, the information about it, tips, examples, links to download it, and much more. This is a clear case of an in-depth piece of content, not only judging by the quality of the content itself, but also the length of it. Don't forget, however, that the length itself isn't enough, since quality is a major factor as well. Let's continue to factor number 5, freshness. If you came across 2 blog posts on the same topic and one was up to date while the other one was created a few years ago, which one would you click? Chances are you'd opt in for the one created most recently. It's more likely to contain the latest information on a given topic. In simpler words, when content is fresher, it has more chances of gaining more visibility. This phenomenon was particularly visible after Google released its new indexing feature called Caffeine. According to the search engine, Caffeine provides 50% fresher results for web searches than our last index, and it's the largest collection of content we've ever offered. You can now find links to relevant content much sooner after it's published than was possible ever before. This means that fresh and high quality content is more favorable in the eyes of Google, whether it was created or updated recently. Contrast this with stale content, posts that haven't been updated in a while. However, this isn't always true and it may differ on case-by-case basis. Let's have a look at a couple examples. A good term where content freshness is important is that of best credit cards, a high rank claim by NerdWallet. This content piece currently jumps between the top 3 positions. By looking at the title on the homepage, you can tell that it's been updated to contain the current month, despite its generating traffic as far as back as 2015. This means that the piece isn't a new one that was created recently, but the title is being updated regularly. It's the same tactic that most of the top ranking search results for that term follow too. Using a month in the title of content, this is a key word where content freshness plays a major role in the eyes of Google. As you can imagine, there are terms where this isn't always the case, since older and outdated pieces of content can still hold really high positions in the SERP. Sometimes, if a page is well written and still provides value to readers, it can still rank high among regularly updated competing pieces as long as it targets a specific keyword where freshness really isn't a huge factor. If you want to take this factor one step further, you can update your content and add the upcoming year in the title tag and meta description, but it doesn't necessarily you'll automatically rank higher. So now let's move on to the last ranking factor we've got for you, the user experience signals. One of the more recent ranking factors that appeared is that of user experience, which we briefly discussed earlier, especially since the core Web Vitals update by Google, where websites have been paying more attention to how user-friendly their pages are. User experience includes a wide set of factors, such as the page speed on both desktop and mobile devices, how mobile-friendly the page is in general, readability levels, and much more. Generally speaking, Google ranks content pieces with a positive user experience higher than those with a bad one. Signs that your web page might have a not so great user experience are low conversion rates, high bounce rates, and not being able to achieve higher Google ranks for a targeted term. These are metrics you can access through Google Analytics or even a WordPress plugin if that's your CMS of choice. You can learn more about how to get your website ranked higher on Google with the help of Google Central, formerly Google Webmasters, which offers a wide variety of guides and tutorials, even for local businesses through the use of Google My Business and local search optimization. All in all, each of these points that we covered contributes to a positive user experience that makes the content enjoyable to read, helping users stay on the page longer. The last thing that you want for your readers is to visit your page and exit right away. Google takes this as a sign that your content shouldn't be ranked high because it doesn't offer what searchers want because they're not staying on the page very long. I think it's fair to say that there is a lot that goes into ranking high on Google. Of course, you need to have the right mix of on-site and off-site, but our rule of thumb is to spend about 4 times the amount of effort building links to your content and doing off-page SEO than you did writing it. So if you spend 10 hours writing a blog post, you should spend 40 hours promoting it and actively building links to it. Hopefully these ranking factors and examples gave you a good idea of where to focus your efforts in case your content isn't currently ranking the highest as you want it. If you need more resources, check out our blog on everything content marketing, SEO, and link building. I will see you next time as we start talking about specific link building strategies and how you can scale them. See you guys soon.